Well, that's the Hump Day Cycle you're talking about there, Idilicus. Well, I mean, we talk about it in the work week of, wake up, dreading Monday morning, getting through Tuesday, getting over the hump on Wednesday, cruising through Thursday. Friday's joyful because you've got a bit of free time. You can be free to do what you want, be who you want to be for 2 days. 2 days. And then all of a sudden Sunday night comes around and there's that familiar dread.
It's not really even 2 days, is it? Because it starts happening on Monday. You're losing it because you're thinking about the week coming ahead.
You're in this mundane cycle and you don't even realize it. But that same cycle plays out in so many areas of our life. If we want to have you just brought up the example, losing weight. All right. So we start working out. Things feel good because we've achieved a couple of our goals. We've set out to finally do what we've been talking ourselves up to do for a while. We get a little bit sore or start getting a bit hungry and things start to get a bit harder. You're getting over the hump and then you might get over it a couple of times where you feel really good about yourself. You've done it. You've got through a bit of a pain barrier and then you've got through, you're starting to work through those hunger pains or that changing of those eating habits. And then the routine of it starts to take over. You start getting in that cycle of now this has to actually become your lifestyle. And that's where you pull up against what you used to get out of it, the emotional aspect of things. And so this is where the imposter plays out. And this would be, your Monday morning again. You get back to Monday morning, you're off a bit of a high, but then you sort of come down on a bit of on a low. And then that's when the imposter comes in and says, see, I told you couldn't do this. You're giving up after just trying for 1 or 2 weeks. And then you've got this voice that's playing out and you're just like, oh, well, I thought I'd got rid of this voice, but it's still there after 2 weeks. So I may as well just give up and go back to it. And you start, the bad habits start sneaking in again. You miss one workout or you skip one healthy meal or whatever. And the difference between the imposter being in control with that and you just being kind to yourself in this situation is whether you spiral from that point. Because you can have a moment where you don't do it, where you do take a day off or you don't, achieve what you set out to achieve for the day. But do you really beat yourself up? Does all the villains then come to the imposter's side and you get defeated? Or are you the hero that says, hey, no, I just had a day. That was it. I'm going to keep going back to the lifestyle that I want to live and going to keep working towards my vision of the person that I want to be. That's how you know the hero is in control, because you're living your life in the way you want to live it, not based on fear, not based on what you can't do, but what you can do and what you allow yourself to and what you are having compassionate space for yourself to be when you aren't necessarily who you want to be in those moments.
Yeah. And the hero in all stories, they all go through their struggles, their pains, their work. They have to work to be. It's not like all of a sudden they are a superhero. They actually have to do things to become that. They have to sharpen their tools. They have to learn how to fly. They have to learn how to use the web to fly. I mean, how many times did Spider-Man fall down on the ground before he actually got to work it out? He even lost, there's so many obstacles will come up. And I think that's part of the hump day journey is knowing they're going to come up, but they are not an obstacle. Just know that they're there and that how are we going to get through them? What are we going to do to get through them? And just know it's a part of it. It's part of that journey. And eventually that hump becomes less and less and less to a point where it's like, it's just you. It's all the stuck energy. The stuck energy that is there that we talk about with grounding, and that's a beautiful point to actually make is that to get through those humps that are coming up in your week and those expectations that are there, just take a breath, just step back, power up with your tools of just knowing how to ground, run some energy, and just allow things to be instead of resisting it. Just observe it and then move through it.
A beautiful way to relate to those moments, and this is one of the things our mentor taught us, is that they're actually just growth periods. You've just reached up to your limits, and that's all it is. You reach up to your boundary of so you've grown a little bit, and you get up to that next level, and you're ready to then go to the next level. But there has to be a little bit of friction, a little bit of something to move through to the next level. So, relaxing into those moments, not getting all fed up and allowing the villains to take over, the Mr. Right, the Mr. Rules, Mr. Perfection. He's always going to be in those moments.
Yeah.
It's a process. Get into the process and just allow yourself to rest, rejuvenate, and then go again. And it may be one step back, but it doesn't really matter. You just take that step and you recharge your batteries and you go again. You got to be able to see it as the long journey that it is, not just a race to get to a destination. It's a constant unfolding and it's every step of the way.
And we've been trained to use all conscious ways to do those things, to be a person who wants to get really fit. You go to, what do? You go to the gym and you start doing weights. If you're a person who's never really liked going to gyms or don't really like doing weights, or you're not into all that sort of thing, to be able to do it, you have to become a person who likes to go to the gym, or who likes to go and exercise, or who likes to actually do weights. And that's what you're talking about, is that growth period. You're hitting a boundary of something that you are not at that point yet. So it's about being rather than forcing yourself to do something. So to be a gym and you start doing weights.
And you recharge your batteries and you go again. You got to be able to see it as the long journey that it is, not just a race to get to a destination. It's a constant unfolding and it's every step of the way.
And we've been trained to use all conscious ways to do those things, to be a person who wants to get really fit. You go to, what do? You go to the gym and you start doing weights. If you're a person who's never really liked going to gyms or don't really like doing weights, or you're not into all that sort of thing, to be able to do it, you have to become a person who likes to go to the gym, or who likes to go and exercise, or who likes to actually do weights. And that's what you're talking about, is that growth period. You're hitting a boundary of something that you are not at that point yet. So it's about being rather than forcing yourself to do something. So to be a hero, to live a heroic life, you've got to be a hero, and you step into it. It's a state of being. It's not something that you just try and make happen. You can't be a hero without being a hero. That makes sense. There are decisions in that, but the whole point of what we're saying is we have the tools to, and that's what our 3-part series, our free 3-part series on our site is all about making that transition from who you are today to who you are to want to be able to do what it is that you want to have. Oh, did I say that right? Anyway.
Yeah. Embodying it really. And that starts with each week, or each day, just deciding who you want to be, taking those first few moments, grounding that into your day, into your life. And then on the show each week, when we come here and talk about this more and more, having a space to talk about it, and having a space where it's welcomed to have these conversations, because they can be uncomfortable and they are unnatural in the beginning. And you certainly feel a bit silly when you start talking to yourself like this. So having somewhere where you can come and we're all doing this is very important.